These are my favorite flower. No, wait. These are my favorite flower. I'm not very good at playing favorites, and to be honest, these are both pretty ugly at the moment and just don't look like much. I shouldn't be judgy. These dried up octopus looking things and these acorn rabbit butt nugget looking things are some of the fluffiest and most gorgeous spring flowers we grow. We are talking about Ranunculus and anemones, and these shriveled looking things are their corms. When it's time to get planting these guys, I have to admit, I get pretty giddy. It means that spring is that much closer, and before I know it, I'm going to be spending my mornings with these fluffy beauties. But before getting our hands in the dirt, there are some tasks we need to do to ensure having a successful crop this spring. First up, we got to wake these babies up and plump them up. You see how they're ugly? Well, not only are they ugly, they're dehydrated, which is important for storage purposes. It keeps them from rotting and it keeps them dormant. This allows us to dictate when they're gonna bloom on our time. We're gonna break their dormancy, wake them up by putting them and soaking them in water, which will plump them up. This step is seemingly simple, but it can make or break the success of our crop. Let's go a little more into detail on this. All right. There's some bare minimum equipment that we need first. We need quality corms, check, mesh bags, plant tags that we're gonna label what the varieties are and the date in pencil. I have learned hard lessons, always do pencil. We need a sanitized bucket, and then we need some water. There are 3 major players in the process of pre-soaking. The name of the game is to prevent rotting, mushy corms. Player number 1 is temperature of the water. We want it room temperature ideally, a little cooler is fine, but nothing warm or hot. Player number 2 is time. You don't want the corms sitting in the water for hours and days on end. 3 to 4 hours is the optimal soaking time. Player number 3 is the method of pre-soaking. Now this is where things can start getting a little hairy. We're playing a balancing game, and what we're trying to balance and control is the bad bacteria and fungi growth. Mainly, we're talking anaerobic bacteria and fungi. We do this by controlling the temperature of the water. The warmer an environment, the more rapid the growth of the bacteria and fungi. We also do this by limiting the amount of time we have the corm sitting in the water. Anaerobic bacteria and fungi grow in environments lacking oxygen. These guys can grow rapidly and do some serious damage, such as root rot. Ranunculus and anemones are easily susceptible to root rot. So if you're pre-soaking your corms and you're just throwing them in a bowl on your kitchen table and letting them sit for the 3 to 4 hours in the appropriate temperature, you are probably still going to see significant rot. You may not see it right away until spring or during the pre-sprouting process, which we'll talk about later in our next video. Then it will be too late. We want to give the Ranunculus and anemones their best fighting chance. How do we do this? By adding additional oxygen to the water the corms are soaking in. By doing this, we are creating an inhospitable environment. There are 2 different methods you can choose from to do this. Method 1, running tap water. The running tap water method is exactly how it sounds. You have your bucket, you have your corms, and they're all under a spigot, whether in the kitchen or the bathroom, and you have it on a slight trickle for 3 to 4 hours while the corms are soaking. This method is slowly flushing out the old water and introducing fresh water, thus fresh oxygen. With this method, I can hear my family in California screaming at me at even the thought of allowing water to run for 3 to 4 hours straight. This leads us to method 2. Pumping oxygen into the water. Please put down your straw. You do not need to blow into the water for hours. Rather, invest in a cheap old aquarium pump. With a 5-gallon bucket and a lid in hand, Graham took the basic concept and did his Graham thing with it.
The concept is simple. We take an aquarium oxygen pump and we just put it into a 5-gallon bucket. We picked up this twin outlet aquarium oxygen pump on Amazon. It was pretty cheap, and we think it's going to do the job. We'll put a link in the description down below if you want to get this exact one and follow along kind of what we do. Along with this, We also need a 5-gallon bucket with a lid, and we're going to use a lid because we're going to try and attach the oxygen pump to the top of the lid. One of the other reasons we think this pump's going to do really well and work out for us because it pretty much has a kit that has almost everything in it we need besides the 5-gallon bucket and some fasteners. As always, if you want a full list of all the items it takes to make this, you can find it in our blog on sierraflowerfarm.com. It goes into all the details we leave out of this video. So let's get into this and make our corm pre-soaking system. The air pumps on the top of the lid. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a paddle bit and I'm going to drill some holes in the top of the lid to allow the air to escape that we pump into Okay, pro tip time. When you go to drill your holes through the lid, don't get paddle bits that have the screw on the end. It might work fantastic for going through 2x4s, but it sucked going through the plastic. Okay, let's finish this up.
So in 3 to 4 hours, when we check back on those corms and take them out of the water, they should be nice and plump, about double their size. And then we get another choose your own adventure game.
Yeah?
Yes.
What's that?
You can take those corms and throw them in a prepared bed right now, or you can do this little thing called pre-sprouting. With the pre-sprouting, that is what we opt to do, and that's something that we'll go over in the next video.
Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already so you can stay up to date with all of our current videos. If you like this, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. It always does help us. If you have a comment or question, leave it in the section down below.
As always, I am looking forward to handing you some blooms soon.